I'm Nikki from The Next Big Thing, and I'm interviewing the people behind the music. And we did the 24th of June, and we got most of those people. And now I'm going on to the next one, which is next week on the 15th. And I'm gradually making my way through editing and doing those. So I'll post them when I've got them. But today I've got Lorraine from Velvet Star, and she's going to tell me a little bit about the band, and we're going to ask a few questions. So, hello, Lorraine, how are you?
Hey, good, thanks.
So, do you want to tell me a little bit about Velvet Star? How long have you been going, and what sort of music do you do?
Okay, so we've been going for about a year now. Um, Seb, our drummer, and Carl, our guitarist, have worked together for years, in various capacities. Uh, and also I knew Carl for a while. He filmed a few of the Fringe Festival shows I did, but it was only a year ago that I realized actually he'd make an amazing collaborator. Uh, and then we added Wayne, who had just moved over from Aussie soon after. Uh, and we play, I guess, what you could call rock music generally, but with bits of funk and even a little sprinkling of reggae in there. But yeah, we're still we're still really experimenting, I would say. Um, but but it's pretty safe to say it's rock centric.
Oh, cool. So I actually like that when you said people make a good collaborator. I think that is really, really important with music. And that's what I look for because we write original music, obviously. And you mentioned Fringe then. So what do you do? That sounded quite interesting. So I'm going to pop in there. So you
Mhm.
do what sort of Fringe stuff do you do?
Okay, so the fringe shows that was in, they combined theatrical aspects with original songs. So the first one it really was just what we called a song cycle, but it had surreal little performance elements. Like I began it by running on stage in something that was, I guess you could call a monkey costume, and giving birth to this weird paper mache baby slash monkey thing that I made. Uh, because it was called the Organ Grinders Monkey. Was the title of it. I was asked to do that by the person who was writing it, and I was like, sure, I'll go for it. And I quite enjoyed making that weird little baby monkey thing too. Then the next one was called On Cuba Street, and that one had a bit more of a narrative to it, where we, as a retail worker and office worker, had our respective demon characters haunting us on Cuba Street, going into their kind of portal realm. Um, yeah, more of a story in that, but still, yeah, chock full of original songs.
That sounds really cool. Gosh, I wish I'd have seen that now. That's cool. And so you're writing original music in Velvet Star, that's right, eh?
Correct.
Yeah, yeah. So it's quite important to have a really good team and be able to collaborate with each other. I sort of known Seb, I think, from Spaced Out years ago. Is you said the guitarist and Seb have worked together? Were they together in that band or not?
I actually don't know
Oh
what
yeah,
band or bands they've been together in. It's kind of hard to keep track because they've been
yeah. Appreciate
many.
that.
Uh, I know one thing for certain, which is that Carl borrowed Seb's amp like many years ago, and that's just been like the basis of the relationship, is that he's never given it back.
I love those kind of
So
folklore things
Seb's
that
just hanging
go
around
through.
waiting for it to come back to him, I think.
They should write a song about that. Hey, where's my
Should
amp?
I? Right.
Could perhaps do some like performance stuff around that as well. So yeah, so we're probably in the same place as you are because we've probably been around as Jeff and the Angry Stick for about a year, but we've had
Mm-hmm.
a personnel change in that time. So like
Mm-hmm.
we're a little bit newer than you. So it takes a little while, I suppose. To you mentioned you sort of finding out about each other. It does take a while to actually create that energy, doesn't it? How do you feel about the energy in your band? Is it pretty cool?
Oh yes, it's very supportive, and not really not really ego driven. I think that we're all quite happy to serve what the song needs, which I can find a challenge sometimes if I bring something in and it gets played with a lot and morphed around a lot. But if I take a deep breath and can recognize actually it's better than when I brought it in, then okay, let's run with that. It's fun as well. Goodness knows we go off on our weird little kind of tangents between songs during practice. We're very good at that. Uh, yeah, Wayne, the bassist in particular, will just go off into these weird little like comedy bits, like musical comedy, just whenever, and that keeps things light for sure.
Oh yeah, that's cool. I appreciate where you're coming from when you bring things in. That was a big thing I had to learn a few years ago when we first started my other band, Spank, before we became Jeff. Is that when you bring things in, people are going to play with them, and you have to take that deep breath and let your baby go. And I've learned a lot about teamwork being a musician, and letting it go. And my son's following in now, and he sometimes he has problems when we start messing with it, and it's like he's on that journey now. It's a, but it's great. I think it really does teach you teamwork, doesn't it? I suppose writing songs.
Definitely. I kind of learned through visual art, like that's where my training is. I went through art school. I learned, I guess, the hard way through that it really does take collaboration. Sure, visual art is known for being quite solitary, but you do need to work with other people. And I have rejected offers of help from more experienced people when I was wanting to do, say, a big mural that I wanted credit for and I wanted it to be my style, but I could have actually learned a lot from the person. And I learned that in hindsight. So I want to make sure I do better with music now.
Yeah, that's it as well. Do you think that I don't know about you, but I always think that it's really exciting when you get a new song and it becomes like a baby that you want to sort of nurture. And it's great when
Mm-hmm.
everybody comes in and gives it a little bit of care. I don't know how you feel about that.
Yes. I would say it depends on the song. Uh, like one that we have just completed and have just started playing called On My Mind. The chorus actually came to me in a dream, and I managed to wake up right away and go and record the lyrics and melody. And it actually has changed because of the music that Carl put onto it. And I reckon it has turned out better by
Yeah.
going through that collaborative filter. Though I was, yeah, a little bit stubborn at first about holding on to it because I was like, it came to me in a dream.
You're a girl after my own heart. I get like that. And I wake up singing songs. Hey, that some of my best stuff has come out of when I've woke up and there's been a melody in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've had to sing it into my phone or something like that. You know, it's like, oh, got to get this before it actually disappears. And my
Mm-hmm.
previous band used to say that I woke up in the key of G sharp minor because I always sang in that. And it was always difficult. They'd always have to transpose whatever it was because it actually didn't suit my voice either. But I sang it at like morning, your morning voice when you get out of bed really low. And so it was quite funny. But yeah, no, it's really good to actually meet somebody who's had a similar sort of experience to me.
Do you mind if I tell you about something that I do with those things that I wake up with?
No, not at all. This is what we're after. What it's like to be an original musician and a creative.
So actually, for years, even before I really got the skills to develop my songwriting practice, which happened last year along with the advent of the band. Um, I've been keeping sound files of what I wake up with. I'll try and sing it. Sometimes it comes to me right before bed. So I've got this whole list of things called upon waking and before bed. And as an exercise this year, I chose several months worth and pinned down exactly what notes were going on in these melodies and made a spreadsheet um, that has the different scales, and so that's on this axis,
Yep.
and on this axis I've got all those different titles of the the date
Yeah.
each of those little snippets was on, and I put a little X for which scales it can fit within.
Yeah.
And I go, okay, so this one can be in, well, I won't try and give examples. Maybe, I don't know, but it can apply within several, and I can maybe use that for maneuvering amongst, related
Yep.
scales, and I've given myself a dare to write a song based just on those. And
That's
it's
quite
actually coming along.
That's quite cool. Yeah, that's quite a cool thing. That's probably the kind of thing I'd hyper focus on as an ADHD person and be like, oh my god, what can I do with this? It's but like when that got quite bad for me, I've only been recently diagnosed about 8 weeks, 12 weeks ago. I couldn't actually write any music, and that was really terrible because like I used to have like loads and loads of ideas. So yeah, that's when I knew it was pretty unwell. But yeah, it's pretty, because I usually have 3 dialogues and a soundtrack in my head all the time. That's what it's like. It's pretty noisy in there. So have you got some new songs for us this weekend?
I would say on my mind, well, it's not brand new, but it's the newest. I reckon, just personally speaking, considering that diagnosis that you just mentioned,
Yeah.
you might enjoy a song called Urban Plastic Wizard.
Oh, that sounds a good one.
Because I personally just got an autism diagnosis.
Oh, well, that's my next one. I'm going for that next. But it costs so much money as an adult to do it.
Oh,
hey?
Yes. Yes, it's true. But yeah, just got that done at the beginning of the year. Hence, yeah, I was talking about that spreadsheet.
Yeah, it's special interest. Man's podcasting right now. It was, and it still is CrossFit, and it still is music.
Not that spreadsheets are the only thing, but I'm pretty sure plenty of people would get that. Anyway, Urban Plastic Wizard, yeah, is about that experience of I guess neurodiversity, you could say.
Oh, awesome.
So that's probably going to be towards the middle to end of the set. Yeah. If
awesome.
you notice, oh, this is the one, then yeah,
awesome.
This is for you.
Awesome. And there's loads, there's loads of, I would say, neurodiverse people in the music industry. I think that's where we sit quite happily sometimes. Yeah. So, it's interesting, isn't it? So, I've lost my thread now. There's my ADHD kicking off. I've met Ken, though, eh? So you're going to be doing these songs. I've seen that you've been doing some gigs around the place. Did I see that you were on the bill with Murky Depths?
Yes.
So you'll be on the bill again with Murky Depths on Saturday.
That's cool.
Because we've got them booked in as well. So that's cool. So you guys know each other quite well.
I reckon like I've not really gotten to know them, but I've certainly seen them around a lot at, say, the open mic nights at Moon.
Yeah.
So it'd be cool to see them again. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. And have you got any plans to record any of your stuff? Is there any stuff recorded already that we can listen to?
Yes, we do have bits and pieces recorded. Probably we're on the brink of having an album's worth of stuff, kind of rough versions. Soon, I think I still need to do some vocals for a few songs. It's a matter of what has Carl put on SoundCloud, etc. I know there's some stuff out there.
Yeah, I put all your links up yesterday. There are some.
Thank you.
I've done a big profile of what's coming up on the 15th and put all your links on there. So if anybody wants to go and look up Velvet Star,
Awesome.
that's a
Awesome.
cool thing. So we're going to push them that way. So we've been recording. It's quite stressy when you
Mhm.
lay it down and then you're like, oh, that's not right. I want to do it again. It
Oh
becomes
yeah.
a really perfectionist mission not to do that. We
Hmm.
recorded last Saturday and we were going to put more stuff on it today, and then
Hmm.
my son's listening to it and he's like, oh no, I'm gonna have to record my guitar track, and it's like
Hmm.
so yeah, you can get a little bit like hooked up on it, especially I suppose when we're all neurodiverse in my family, so we all get hooked up on that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So have you got plans for more gigs after the next big thing?
I know I just signed us up for Battle of the Bands.
Oh, we'll see what day are you doing, because we're doing
Uh,
that.
Thursday, the 10th of August at
Is
Val.
that, is there a Thursday and a Friday? I can't remember.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we signed up for the Friday, so we probably won't
Yeah,
see
cool.
you. But yeah, we're going down to Love Valhalla. Have you played at
Yeah.
Valhalla?
We just did on Wednesday.
How did you enjoy that?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's one of those places that just has a really personal appeal. There's something I like about the way your shoes stick to the floor.
It's an
It just reminds
authentic.
you of yeah, coming out to gigs and techno nights gone awry.
It's an authentic, proper like venue, I reckon.
Yeah,
But there's nothing like the sound on stage at Valhalla. I actually think it's really
yeah.
good.
Hmm.
It's a great stage to play on for a musician,
Hmm.
and it's a nice intimate little venue, I think. Yeah, I
Yes,
enjoy it
intimate's
though.
true. Yeah, and I quite like the little bit at the front, that kind of little fancy thingy.
Yeah, the little like
You can,
wooden block thing.
yeah, you can kind of like lean against that sort of thing, just like, I don't know, it's like leverage towards the audience or something.
So is there only you that sings in the band, or do other people
Yeah,
jump in? Yeah. So you're a performer. Do you like being out the front?
yeah, yeah. Actually, yes, yes. It's taken a long time to get up the gumption to do it, but now that I'm doing it, yeah, it's great.
Yeah, because I like just like giving it some at the front, but like when we go to Valhalla,
Mhm.
my son like follows in that sort of direction. He's like he's got on that little block and jumped off into the audience
Yeah.
sometimes,
Oh.
and it's quite good for that because that stage is good for that, and the monitors are up high, so you're not gonna fall into them, and it's just great. I love it. I can't wait to do Battle of the Bands, and it's so cool that you're doing it. That's awesome. And we hope if we all get through to the semis, we'll probably be in the same one. That'd be really cool.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Hopefully
Yeah.
we do, eh? That'd be sweet.
Oh yeah, sweet as. And so have you looked at the lineup
Um,
for Saturday?
to be honest, I haven't, sorry, because I've been preoccupied with other things, just beginning some part-time study again, etc. So,
Oh, we're always learning. I've just signed up for some study. I've just finished an apprenticeship to become a PT, and I've signed up for something else now. So
cool.
I'm chasing your tail there as well. And so you're looking forward to coming over to Wairarapa?
Yes, yes. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it actually. I lived in Greytown for a year, just after I finished art school, about a decade ago, and haven't been back since. And I really wanted to. So now, yeah, finally get the chance.
That's
And
cool. So you're
the
practically
capacity is great.
local. You've had a year in Greytown.
I
We've
lived
got
there long enough to find out that if you want the proper secondhand shops, you go to Carterton.
Yeah, well, it's all moved on now. We've got second-hand shops in Masterton as well. Do you like second-hand shops?
Well, I mean, it's close to Greytown.
Nothing in Greytown, eh? It's all boutiques though.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So like, Masterton's pretty cool now, eh? Well, sort
I
of.
look forward to seeing.
Master
Yeah.
Vegas. Yeah, but there's a festival of Christmas on in Greytown when you come through, so that might be quite nice to pass through and on your way over. So all
Oh,
the
okay.
lights might be twinkling and like food and stuff like that. So that's a pretty good thing to, go to as well while you're down
Hmm.
here. So
Okay.
would you come over and play more often if we had a venue?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think that road trips with the guys are a good way to connect because in the practice room we're down to business, whereas in the car we can have a yarn. Found that when we did a gig in Palmy. And just that like slight feel of homecoming just from that 1 year in the Wairarapa makes life up.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and it's sort of familiar then, isn't it? And the road trips are pretty cool. Like, I mean, as a band, you get the crack then, don't you? You get your in jokes, and we had a few when we were in our last band. I think this band's not quite worked out what our in jokes are yet, but like we did have a few in the last one. The drummer's always going to come at the last minute, and Sheldon didn't like being in the heavy metal venues. So it's like,
Okay.
we all had these little things that we did. But we're looking forward to seeing you. And is there anything that you'd like to tell the people who might be watching, if there's anyone? Hello.
Yes, if there's anyone, hello. Yeah. Uh, well, if you do come along, thank you very much for coming along. Yeah, I try to write songs, the kind of songs that I don't really hear in the rock music that I like. So who knows who might relate to it. I hope that some of you find a way to, and that you just enjoy the sounds as well. We try to make it fun.
Yeah, cool. I just saying that. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? It's like trying to write those songs that are not existing for. I know that's the thing, isn't it? There's so many love songs. I know we in the last band tried not to write any love songs, so there was not. We did write one, and it was about cheese.
Awesome.
And it was sort of, everybody thought it was a love song until we got to the line, "Oh, cheese, you topped everything." And then they realised it was about cheese, and they felt a little bit cheap. But no, actually, everybody loved that song, but we didn't. One of those. Excuse me. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up now before my Zoom call ends. Thanks so much, Lorraine, for being an absolutely amazing interviewee. And I can't wait to see you guys again, because I really, enjoy seeing new musicians and new music. So
Thank you
I'm
for
gonna,
having me.
yeah, no worries. Catch you soon. Have a
And I'll
good
make
one.
sure to look at the the list of different bands before I come to. I feel bad I haven't looked at that yet.
Oh no, I was going to ask you who your top pick was, but like you've got a little bit of an advance notice there on that Murky Depths, you know. So, what would you say about them? What would you recommend? That's a cool one because you've seen them live.
Mm-hmm.
So, what would you say about them?
I particularly uh I like the bass in there. I don't know, it just seems to be he just seems to get it with a style where it just like is it can really echo like
Yeah,
through you kind of
I
thing.
think I think
It's not very technical, but I just noticed that.
bass is evocative. I love bass. I actually really, really buzz off bass, and my husband is actually a bass player, which is lucky. So and he's a bass player in our band. Like we're sort of the three of us in the family, and
That's
then
awesome.
two that's come in from the outside. And I work with Coral. She's a girl drummer. But she's a guitarist as well in another band. We used to have a band called Growler. Everybody laughs at that. It was an over 40s girl band. And we just owned it. I keep saying to her we should really sort of bring that back, resurrect it, because it was a cracking project. It was funny, and it was slightly feminist, a bit tongue in cheek and poking fun at men, and it was fun.
That sounds great.
So we were all working together. So I'm looking forward to the song about that you is about neurodiversity. You'll have to give me a shout out on the mic when you're singing it,
Yeah,
so I can have a good
I'll try to
listen.
remember.
Yeah, and I'll catch you later. Thanks for being such a great guest on my podcast.
Thank you very much, Nikki.
Take care. Bye
See
bye.
you.